The whole idea and the whole fact that I see all of you beautiful women here today shows the kind of support that we can give each other. I mean, really, honestly, I'm overwhelmed with emotion because of what I see. I said I'll cry. But this is the truth of a band of women coming in support of each other. And this is exactly what these women did. That their vision was for sharing and to having other people join in their efforts. What's very important for all of us is to find that fearless tribe of women who are ready to stand by you, who are ready to validate you for all your efforts, and that makes it all worthwhile. So, finally, I have to tell you, I did this trailer for my book, and in the end, I have a message. And I say that those who see the invisible can do the impossible. At the heart of any transformation, at the core of reaching for new heights and becoming a truer, more authentic version of ourselves, is something that's quite spiritual. Now, most of the women that I showcased in the book were not religious, and many of them never thought of themselves as spiritual. But I actually think being really in tune with yourself and asking yourself the right questions to move forward is at the heart of spirituality. Those who are visionaries and they take that vision and actualize it are really nurturing that spiritual seed inside them. None of these women ever thought of themselves as a job title or someone with a status, but they thought of the work that they were doing as a vocation. And they really heeded what their calling was. And by taking one step after another, they were trying to manifest what that emerging self was telling them to do. This means that we need to take risks, think beyond confinements, and stay true to our center. In my book, I made sure that I showcased an Iranian woman as well. And it's important for the rest of the world to know about an Iranian woman. And I had the great privilege of studying up on Forough Farrokhzad. If you look at the 2,500 years of Persian literature, not one woman's name comes forward until just recently in the 1960s, and that is Forough Farrokhzad. We have to take account of her accomplishments in the social backdrop of where she was raised, where a woman's voice was private, veiled, where a woman was not supposed to speak about sensuality, and she broke all those boundaries and wanted to define herself as a creative being. In her tragically short 32 years, Forough became a giant in Persian literature and changed the course of modern poetry. Writing from a singular feminine perspective, that at a time when it was never expected for a woman to do so, she went on to publish 5 poetry collections, 3 of which happened before the age of 24. And after so many reprints, her work has been among the most popular in Persian history. My lover is poetry, she once wrote. I'm going to seek my lover. And this shows her real dedication, first of all, to herself and her art. In her interview, she once said, "Poetry is a serious business for me. It is a responsibility I feel versus my own being. It is a sort of answer I feel compelled to give to my own life. I don't search for anything in my poems." But this is the most meaningful part. In my poems, I discover myself. I really believe that each and every one of us has something very special to offer in this world. And the biggest challenge is to become who we are at the very core and honor it. No matter who we are, what our interests are, we're all bound by a love for life and a feeling that we want to contribute, whether it's to our family, the community at large, or the world. We all have our personal journeys. For some, it will be a path which brings public recognition, while for others, it's those private epiphanies that will not be seen by anyone. But both are equally important. I hope that pioneers of the possible and the stories of these pioneering women can be used as our own markers along our path to assist us in finding the door to our own story. I want to take the opportunity to thank my dear mother because she's a pioneer for me. I don't know where she is, but I have to say that as years go by, it's her true, remarkable spirit, her positive energy that has encouraged each and every one of us in our family to follow our passions and to do good. And I'm incredibly proud of my own mom, and I love her very much. So, in saying that, I also hope that in our own journey, we women help and support each other in choosing a life story that supports us, that shows proof of our resiliency and our creativity. I hope that we honor ourselves in a way that allows us to be generous with the roles we give ourselves. And I hope along the way, we are patient with how many times we give ourselves the chance to learn what we need to learn. I want to tell you that the proceeds of this book, portion of the proceeds of this book goes to the Somali Mom Foundation. Somali Mom is another honoree in my book who has done incredible work. I have had the pleasure of meeting her, and she is really remarkable, having been a sex slave herself. She's now inspired millions of women all around the world by supporting her vision, which is stopping human trafficking. And I really hope that the message of this book goes to your heart and it feeds you and it nurtures you. And really, personally, I want to thank each and every one of you for taking the time to come here today. Thank you.